get started in lining our field before a game, we first need to get all of the tools that we need to get started. And we're going to need our string, our tape, hammer, a couple of nails. We have our batter's box template, a rake, and of course our field lining machine filled with lime. All of these materials can be found inside the storage box next to the field in the box marked field supplies. First thing we want to do before we even begin to line the field is we need to make sure that our home plate area is properly raked out and leveled out. Using the back of the rake, what we want to do is make sure that we fill in any low spots in the batter's box area that are generally generated in previous games by the batters. So we can best do that by just simply raking the top layer of dirt and leveling that out. We're going to need to make a few passes, pushing and pulling the dirt into the low area. Once we have the holes filled, we can use the butt end of the rake and kind of tamp down firmly and try to make sure it's nice and packed. Again, making a few passes and tapping in both directions. Once we're finished tapping, we can just carefully rake back around the area, just kind of loosen up the top layer of soil again and make it ready for laying down the batter's box template. All right, now our next step in lining the baseline is going to be putting our string down. The important part is we need to make sure that the string is lined up with the back edges of the plate as we're doing our first baseline and then afterwards our third baseline. And the best way to do that is to take our string, kind of pull it out like that, make sure we're lined up with the back edge of the plate. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drive our nail, one end of the string, back behind home plate, as so. Once we have our nail driven behind home plate at the end of the string, we can then begin to take the string and walk down towards first base to finish our line. Walking out into the outfield grass, what we want to do is we want to come out to where the painted line in the outfield is, if we have one, and then with the string right on the edge of the base, okay, pulling tight, we want to take our other nail, kind of wrap it a few times around the string, and again, making sure that our line is tight to the base, come in, and drive our nail into the outfield grass, along the line of the outfield. It's important that our line runs exactly on the outside of the base. Okay, the line should not be outside of the base or inside of the base, but running directly along the edge of the base itself. When using a double first base, we can lay the string directly in between the white and the orange base. Again, we should be going right down the middle, tight to the white base part. Another technique is to simply take the line, bring it under the orange base, and again, lining it up between the orange and the white base, lay it flat on the ground. This actually makes it easier when we're running our lining machine over. Okay, using our lining machine filled with lime, we want to start about 4 feet from the home plate area with our baseline. This will allow us room to put our batter's box template down after we've done our 2 lines. It's important we don't put too much lime down on the field, but obviously we need to have enough to make a good line. Using our damper control lever on the stem of the lining machine, we want to open it just a bit and just enough that we can begin to make a line on the field without dropping too much lime down. Okay, making sure that we have the string as our outside part of the line, we then begin to walk down toward the base at a slow but steady progress, thus starting our baseline. If we get to the base area, we can just simply stop just before the base. Again, close our lever so we don't lose any lime, bring it onto the other side of the base, and then just continue on. Once we reach the outfield grass, we simply pull the lever up and stop, as the outfield grass will be painted for a permanent mark. Once we have our lines down, we're ready to put down our batter's box. What we want to use is our batter's box template. Okay, this template is designed to fit over the home plate area and be able to create a template so we can run our nail along the outside edge of the PVC to create our batter's box. Batter's box template should line up the outside of the PVC right along the outside edge of the plate and make sure that it's lined up square with the field. When properly lined up, the batter's box template corner should intersect with the first base line on this side and then on the third base line on the other side. Using a nail, we want to simply score on the outside of the PVC completely around the batter's box template. Simply turn the batter's box template over and repeat on the other side of the home plate area. I will see it. Complete our batter's box by using the field lining machine and tracing on the inside of the lines that we've scored with the nail. Putting our pitching circle down for those leagues that require it, it helps to have two individuals help put this down. One to hold the end of the tape, the other to actually score the circle with the back of the tape measure. If only one coach is available to do this, we can use a nail and use the front of the pitching rubber to drive the end of the tape measure in. But doing it is with two people, we're going to just simply have our one coach hold the end of the tape in the center of the pitching rubber and the other coach begin to score a circle, again with an 8-foot radius. Again, continuing around the full 360-degree circle until we have a full score line. Using our lining machine as we did with the base lines, we just simply trace over our score mark with a light coating of lines. When done properly, we should be able to complete the entire field with a single load of lime in our lining machine.